So often I'll be having a conversation with my mother and I'll think to myself, get to the point. What is the maybe not punchline, but what is the point of your story? So she said she saw something on the TV. And, she started describing the story that she saw. She said there was this man and he befriended this elderly woman. And, he started like going places with her, doing things with her, and befriending her and taking her to dinner. I'm like, okay, fair enough. What's the point? My mom said, wait, I'm getting to that. And, the man, he became like a member of her family, and she was the only one he really, like, he was the only one she really knew, and she began to love him like he was her son. I'm like, okay, what's the point, Mom? I mean, I hear you. I don't mean to be rude here, but you're going on and on. She's like, wait. And, then the man got in control of her finances, and, I'm like, Mom, what's the point of the story? She's like, all right, the point of the story is the man stole this woman's money, then disappeared to another country. I'm like, that's all you had to say. All you had to say is this man stole this woman's money, then disappeared. So when my grandmother was still alive, my mom would always fight with my Aunt Kathy, about not. My mom says she did significantly more than my aunt. So my mom, obviously was set to go to a clothing store with my aunt, and but she says to me, Andrew, I have a question for you. And I'm like, okay, what's the question you want to ask? She's like, well, your Aunt Kathy says she does significantly more when it comes to grandma than me. And, I do what I can, but I have a busy life. And I'm like, okay, what's your question? She's like, wait, I'm getting to that. Well, I was supposed to go to a clothing store with Aunt Kathy today, and I was busy in the morning, and I said, we'll go in the afternoon. I'm like, okay, what is your question, Mom? What's the point here? And my mom says, well, 3 p.m. rolls around, and I call Aunt Kathy, and, she says she made plans with somebody else. She went to the clothing store with somebody else. I'm like, Mom, I don't mean to be rude, but what's the question you want to ask me? She's like, all right, the question I want to ask you is, would you be hurt? And I'm like, Mom, you didn't have to tell me Aunt Kathy's life story. All you had to say was, Aunt Kathy made plans with somebody else to go to a clothing store when she should have went with me. Would you be hurt? Cut to the chase. Cut to the punchline. She goes on these long tangents and tells me the whole life story and every little detail. Don't, cut to the chase, cut to the punchline. You don't have to tell me every little detail,